After days at sea, Anuanuraro finally appeared on the horizon, a faint, almost dreamlike smudge of green against the endless blue. The anticipation that had built up during our long journey seemed to crystallize in that moment, as if the island itself was a mirage conjured by our hopes and imaginations. As we drew closer, the details sharpened. A lush, vibrant jungle spilling down to meet a crescent of powder-white sand, the shoreline curving gracefully around the island like a protective arm. The colors were impossibly vivid, the greens and blues more intense than I had ever seen. The air itself seemed to change, thickening with the intoxicating scent of tropical flowers mingled with the briny tang of salt. Every breath promised a world untouched by modern chaos, a place where nature still reigned supreme and time moved at its own gentle pace. Our small wooden boat glided silently through a narrow coral channel, the water beneath us shifting from deep blue to a dazzling turquoise as we entered the lagoon. On the shore, simple wooden huts with thatched roofs nestled among swaying palms, blending seamlessly into the landscape as if they had always belonged there. As we landed, a group of children burst from the trees, their laughter ringing out across the sand. They ran to greet us, their joy infectious, while the village chief, Kale, approached with a broad smile and a fragrant garland of flowers, a traditional sign of welcome and respect. There was no elaborate ceremony, no rehearsed performance, just genuine warmth, open smiles, and a sense of belonging that was immediate and profound. It felt as though we were being welcomed home, even though we had never set foot here before. My hut, woven from pandanus leaves and sturdy timber, stood just steps from the water's edge. From its shaded porch I could gaze out over the shimmering lagoon, watching the sunlight dance on the gentle waves and the clouds drift lazily overhead. The only sounds were the rhythmic crash of waves on the reef and the soft rustling of palm fronds in the breeze, a natural symphony that soothed the mind and stilled the heart, inviting me to slow down and simply be present. As I settled into this tranquil rhythm, I felt the exhaustion of travel and the weight of the outside world melt away. In its place grew a quiet certainty. I had discovered a hidden jewel, a place where life was simpler, more meaningful, and deeply connected to the land and its people. Anuanuraro was not just a destination on a map, it was an invitation to become part of a community, a family waiting with open arms, ready to share their island, their stories, and their way of life. Each morning on Anuanuraro began with a sunrise that painted the sky in gold and rose, casting a gentle glow over the entire island. The first light of day would slip quietly through the palm fronds, waking the world with a soft golden promise. It was a moment of stillness when the air felt fresh and full of possibility, and the only sounds were the distant calls of seabirds greeting the dawn. The ocean, calm and glassy, reflected every hue of the sky, shades of pink, orange and lavender rippling across the water's surface. Sometimes the sea was so still it seemed to hold its breath, mirroring the sky so perfectly that the horizon disappeared. The beaches were ribbons of white sand scattered with shells and driftwood, separating jungle from sea. Each step along the shore revealed new treasures, delicate shells, smooth stones, and the occasional piece of coral washed up by the tide. The sand was warm beneath your feet, and the gentle curve of the coastline invited long, peaceful walks. At low tide, rock pools teemed with tiny, vibrant life, nature's own miniature worlds. Small fish darted between rocks, while crabs and sea anemones clung to the edges, their colors vivid against the wet stone. These pools were like secret gardens, waiting to be discovered by curious eyes. Inland, the jungle was a cathedral of green, sunlight filtering through ancient trees and orchids. The air was thick with the scent of earth and flowers, and every path led deeper into a world alive with color and sound. Ferns unfurled in the shade, and vines hung like natural curtains, creating a sense of mystery and wonder. The air buzzed with bird song and the rustle of leaves, a living chorus that never truly faded. Parrots flashed through the canopy, and the wind carried the gentle music of the forest, blending with the distant sound of waves. Evenings brought sunsets ablaze with color, painting the sky in fiery reds and purples, followed by a night sky dense with stars, the Milky Way stretching overhead in a dazzling arc. The transition from day to night was a spectacle in itself, as the last light faded and the island was wrapped in a peaceful, starlit hush. Villagers gathered on the beach to watch, sharing quiet awe at the beauty surrounding them. Children played at the water's edge, while elders told stories as the sky darkened. everyone united by the simple joy of witnessing nature's daily masterpiece. Here, every day was a celebration of nature's artistry, both humbling and deeply connecting. Life on Anuanuraro was shaped by the rhythms of the land and sea, a reminder of how beautiful and precious our world can be when we pause to truly see it. Life in the village followed the sun's rhythm, unhurried, purposeful, and communal. At dawn, men paddled out in canoes, fishing as their ancestors had, while women swept sandy paths and tended gardens. Laughter and stories filled the air as children played nearby. Midday brought rest under banyan trees, mending nets, weaving mats, or carving wood. The main meal was shared at sunset, the aroma of grilled fish and breadfruit filling the air. Afterward, villagers gathered to sing, talk, and listen to elders' stories. The day ended in peace, reaffirming their bonds and shared history. Every moment was woven with community, tradition, and a deep sense of belonging. Here, time moved with the tides, not the clock. Homes on Anuanuraro were crafted from island materials, breadfruit wood, pandanus leaves, and palm fronds, designed for comfort and harmony with nature. Meals celebrated the island's bounty: fresh fish, taro, yams, breadfruit, and sweet tropical fruits. Food was shared, not owned. The catch divided among all, and homes built together. Traditions thrived. Elders taught stories and skills, women wove mats, men taught navigation and carving. Every act reinforced community and continuity. Here, sharing was a way of life, and tradition a living thread connecting generations. The village's strength lay in its unity and mutual care. Simplicity was not a lack, but a source of abundance. The people of Anuanuraro saw themselves as part of nature, not apart from it. Their lives were woven into the rhythms of the land and sea, guided by a deep understanding that every action had a consequence for the world around them. This connection shaped their choices, their traditions, and even their sense of identity. They took only what they needed from the sea, letting reefs recover and fish populations thrive. Fishing was never about abundance, but about balance, ensuring that the ocean's gifts would be there for their children and grandchildren. They respected the natural cycles, knowing when to wait and when to harvest. Every resource was used wisely: coconut husks for fuel, shells for bowls, fronds for roofs. Nothing was wasted. Even the smallest scraps found a purpose, whether in daily life or in celebration. This careful stewardship meant the island's bounty was never taken for granted. When a tree was felled, another was planted. The act was more than practical. It was a promise to the future, a silent vow that the land would remain lush and generous for those yet to come. Their gentle footprint preserved the island's health for generations. The forests remained thick, the beaches clean, and the waters clear, a testament to their mindful way of living. Spirituality infused daily life. Before fishing or entering the jungle, they offered prayers to the spirits of land and sea. These rituals were not just tradition, but a way to express gratitude and humility, acknowledging that they were guests in a world much greater than themselves. This reverence ensured every creature and tree was treated with respect. The people believed that kindness to the earth would be returned in abundance, and so they moved through their world with care and intention. Their knowledge of weather, plants, and tides came from generations of observation, not books. Elders passed down wisdom through stories and hands-on teaching, ensuring that each new generation understood the delicate balance that sustained their home. They were custodians, not consumers, living proof that harmony with the earth is possible. Working together, they cared for gardens, beaches, and forests, knowing that the well-being of one was tied to the well-being of all. Their wisdom was ancient, yet more relevant than ever. In a world searching for answers to environmental crises, their way of life offers a blueprint for true sustainability, rooted in respect, restraint, and community. Watching them, I realized how much the modern world has forgotten. We often look for solutions in technology, but here the answers are found in tradition, patience, and a willingness to listen to the earth. Here, sustainability was not a trend, but a way of being. It was woven into every task, every meal, every lesson taught to a child. The islanders lived in a way that honored both past and future. The island thrived because its people cared for it as family. Their love for the land was visible in every action, a living reminder that when we cherish the earth, it gives back in ways beyond measure. When the village celebrated, joy overflowed. Feasts, music, and dance uniting everyone. Preparations were communal, men fished, women wove garments and cooked in earth ovens. As night fell, drums and ukuleles summoned all to the clearing. Dances told stories of gods, voyages, and love. Men's movements bold, women's graceful, children joining in. One night, a wedding filled the village with flowers, song, and laughter under a sky ablaze with stars. There was no audience, only participants. Everyone danced, sang, and shared food. These celebrations strengthened bonds, dissolving tensions and renewing community spirit. In these moments, the soul of the village shone brightest. Warmth, generosity, and a love for life. The simplest joys, music, food, togetherness, were the most profound. Under the stars, happiness felt infinite. Life on Anuanuraro, though beautiful, brought real challenges. Storms could damage homes and crops, making resources scarce, but villagers responded with resilience and cooperation. Healthcare was limited, traditional remedies helped, but serious illness meant a long, risky journey. Modern goods from passing ships tempted change, threatening traditions and the environment. Elders worried about losing ancient skills as the outside world crept closer. Yet hope and determination prevailed. Problems were met with unity, not despair. Their hardships made their way of life even more remarkable. The strength of the community was tested but never broken. Here, adversity deepened the meaning of every day. What lingered most was the deep human connection that wove the village together. No one was alone. Joys and sorrows were shared by all. Elders were cherished, their wisdom guiding the community. Children were nurtured by every adult. I experienced countless small kindnesses. A neighbor's help, a shared laugh, a gentle word. These acts created a fabric of empathy and support. Community here meant living with, not just near others. Relationships, not transactions. The village was a sanctuary, rich in love and togetherness. I learned that true wealth is measured in connection, not possessions. The people of Anuanuraro had mastered the art of belonging. Their way of life was a lesson in what truly matters. Departure came too soon, the village gathering to say goodbye as they had welcomed me, with warmth and open hearts. As our boat left, I watched the island fade, knowing I was changed. Anuanuraro had stripped life to its essentials: simplicity, community, harmony with nature. These were not relics but vital lessons for our fractured world. We must protect and learn from cultures like this. They hold the wisdom we need. Travel, not just to see but to connect and listen. The world is full of hidden places that can teach us how to live. Let us go forward with open hearts, carrying the spirit of Anuanuraro always.